Stop running on autopilot. That phrase may sound simple, but it holds the key to unlocking a life of purpose, clarity, and intentionality. Far too many of us wake up each day, follow the same routine, think the same thoughts, speak the same doubts, and go to bed wondering why nothing feels different. We convince ourselves that we're busy or getting through the day, but deep down we know we're just coasting. Existing, not truly living, and that's where the silent danger lies, not in massive failure, but in quiet repetition that leads nowhere. Autopilot is comforting because it's predictable. It requires no courage, no deep questioning, no emotional risk. It's the mental cruise control that keeps you in survival mode, but let's be honest, were you put on this earth just to survive, just to check boxes, just to repeat the same year 10 times and call it a decade? Or were you made for more? Living on autopilot means giving away your power. It means allowing habits, routines, and external expectations to drive your decisions instead of your inner truth. It means you stop checking in with yourself. You stop asking, does this make me happy? Is this aligned with my purpose? Am I growing or just floating? And when you stop asking, you stop evolving. You start living someone else's version of life. Maybe societies, maybe your families, maybe a past version of yourself who no longer exists. We're creatures of habit, yes, but we are also creatures of intention. We were built with the ability to choose differently, to rewrite our patterns, to wake up on a random Tuesday and say, this ends today. The first step is awareness, real, unfiltered awareness. You have to look at your life like an editor, not an emotional victim. Look at your daily choices. Are they leading you toward the person you want to become or anchoring you to the one you're trying to outgrow? Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something that scared you? When was the last time you created instead of consumed? When was the last time you said yes to growth and no to comfort? Because the truth is, autopilot doesn't kill you. It just slowly erases you. It numbs your brilliance. It mutes your voice. It dims your fire until you don't recognize the person in the mirror anymore. You deserve better than that. You deserve mornings that ignite you, conversations that challenge you, work that excites you. You deserve relationships that expand you, not just fill space. And none of that happens on autopilot. It happens when you decide, fully unapologetically, to wake up, to interrupt your patterns, to shake the snow globe of your life and deal with what rises to the surface. The world doesn't need more people who are good at fitting in. It needs more people who are awake, alive, and fully engaged with their lives. People who dare to question, to reflect, to choose consciously. People who realize that time is a currency and every moment spent unconsciously is a moment you'll never get back. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about being honest enough to say, this isn't working for me anymore. It's about trading mindless scrolling for mindful living. It's about setting boundaries that protect your energy and goals. It's about tuning in, not out, listening to your gut when it tells you you're settling, trusting that you don't have to have all the answers to take the first step. You see, when you stop running on autopilot, you take your life off mute. You start hearing your inner voice again. You notice what excites you, what drains you, what inspires you. You give yourself permission to course, correct, to pivot, to try, and you realize that living intentionally isn't about having perfect days. It's about having *present ones. It's time to stop sleepwalking through your own existence. Turn off the cruise control. Grieve the time you've lost if you need to, but then come back swinging. Show up to your life like it matters, because it does. Stop deferring your dreams to later. Later is a myth. Later is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid facing the discomfort of now. You're not behind, you're not too late, you're not too broken, but you are responsible. You are capable, and you are ready, so stop running on autopilot. Start living with eyes wide open. Start questioning the life you've settled for, because the next 10 years don't get fixed by chance. They get fixed by choice, and this moment, this awareness, is where your next chapter begins. Protect your vision like a hawk, not gently, not half-heartedly, but fiercely, with clarity and unwavering focus. Because in a world full of noise, distractions, and unsolicited opinions, your vision is your compass. It's the thing that keeps you grounded when the world tries to pull you in every direction. It's the spark inside you that tells you who you are, what you believe in, and what kind of life you're meant to live. And let's be real, if you don't guard it, the world will try to rewrite it for you. The moment you declare a vision for your life, whether it's building something, becoming someone, creating change, you become a magnet for two kinds of people, the believers and the doubters. The believers will fuel you, and the doubters will drain you. That's why you have to be selective. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your process. Some people only want to watch so they can criticize. Others pretend to support you, but secretly hope you'll stay the same because your growth threatens their comfort. Your vision is not up for public debate. It doesn't need validation to be worthy. It doesn't need applause to be powerful. It needs protection, ruthless, intentional protection. That means learning to say no. That means creating boundaries between your dreams and other people's limitations. That means understanding that just because someone can't see what you see doesn't mean it isn't real. It just means it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. You have to become the gatekeeper of your energy, your goals, and your belief system. Every time you share your vision too early, too casually, or with the wrong person, you risk letting in doubt, fear, or judgment that doesn't belong to you. And that energy can be contagious. One careless comment, one raised eyebrow, one passive-aggressive remark can plant a seed of uncertainty that slows you down or makes you shrink. And you didn't come this far to shrink. Think about a hawk. It soars above the noise. It sees everything from a higher perspective. It doesn't chase every little distraction. It locks in, sharpens its focus, and moves with purpose. That's how you need to move with your vision. Stop explaining yourself to people who aren't even listening. Stop inviting feedback from those who haven't done what you're trying to do. You don't need permission to build a life that looks different from the norm. Your vision is sacred. It's the raw blueprint of your soul's potential. Don't dilute it to make it easier for others to digest. Don't water it down so it doesn't intimidate anyone. Don't play small so others feel big. You weren't meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be felt by the right people in the right places at the right time, and those people will recognize your vision, not resist it. Protecting your vision also means protecting your mindset, because the way you think directly impacts the way you build. If your thoughts are constantly being clouded by fear or influenced by comparison, you'll never operate from your highest self. You'll operate from survival, not strategy. From anxiety, not clarity. That's why you need to guard your inputs just as much as your outputs. Watch what you consume, who you follow, what you listen to. Ask yourself, does this feed my vision or fight it? And don't confuse being private with being afraid. You're not hiding your vision. You're incubating it. You're giving it time to grow, to strengthen, to mature. Every dream goes through a season of silence before it makes noise. Don't rush that process. Use it. Let it mold you. Let it sharpen your discipline, your character, and your why. Remember, protecting your vision doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means elevating your environment. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who see your potential and hold you accountable to it. The right people won't just clap for you. They'll help you level up. They'll remind you of who you are when you forget. They'll speak life into your vision when you're tempted to quit. But in the end, no one will care about your vision more than you. That's your responsibility. That's your job, to believe in it before anyone else does. To carry it when it feels heavy, to fight for it when it feels fragile, to stay loyal to it even when the results aren't instant. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be committed, consistently, relentlessly. So protect your vision like a hawk. See it from above. Focus on it with precision. Refuse to be distracted by the small, the petty, the noisy, because your vision is bigger than that. It's bigger than fear. Bigger than opinions, bigger than setbacks, and if you stay locked in, if you stay true, if you protect it fiercely, one day you'll wake up and realize your vision isn't just a dream anymore. It's your life. Invest in the unseen work. That's where the transformation happens, not in the spotlight, not in the applause, not in the highlight reels, but in the quiet, unglamorous hours where no one is watching. It's the grind behind the glow, the discipline behind the dream, the consistency behind the confidence. The world may celebrate results, but it's the unseen work that builds them. And if you're not willing to master that space, the lonely space, you'll never fully step into your greatness. Unseen work is the effort no one claps for. It's the 5 a.m. wake-ups when you could have slept in. It's the rewrites, the rejections, the mental battles, the slow progress. It's choosing long-term purpose over short-term pleasure. It's practicing when you're tired, learning when you're lost, showing up when you don't feel like it. It's what separates the wishful from the unstoppable, because anyone can want success. Very few are willing to do what it actually takes when there's no reward in sight. We live in a world addicted to fast results. Everyone wants the glow up, the breakthrough, the win, but the truth is no one skips the process, and the deeper truth, the process is invisible, it's internal. It's emotional, it tests your patience, it challenges your identity, it forces you to outgrow your excuses and face every version of yourself you've been avoiding. You have to fall in love with the parts that don't get recognition. The hours you spend in solitude building your craft, the tears you wipe in silence when nothing seems to be working, the decisions you make that no one understands because they're playing checkers while you're playing chess. The unseen work is the work that shapes you into someone who can carry the success you're chasing. Because here's the thing, success is never just about getting there, it's about becoming the kind of person who can handle what there requires. That version of you, you don't meet them at the finish line, you meet them on the staircase, step by step, in the discipline, in the sacrifice, in the stretch. You meet them in the gym when no one's watching, at the desk when the deadline is far away, in the mirror when no one's affirming you, but you keep going anyway. The unseen work also includes healing. Growth isn't just about hustle, it's about breaking toxic patterns. In learning self-sabotage, letting go of old identities, doing the inner work that rewires your self-worth, not just your resume, that's some of the hardest unseen work you'll ever do, digging into your own mindset, confronting your fears, and building emotional endurance. Because emotional resilience is the foundation of real power. Without it, all the external wins will feel empty, and let's not confuse unseen with unimportant. Just because it's not on display doesn't mean it's not valuable. In fact, it's more valuable. The strongest trees have the deepest roots. You don't see those roots, but they're what hold the whole thing up during the storm. Same with you. The world may not see your roots, but they'll see your stability, your clarity, your depth, and all of that comes from the work you do in the dark. But be warned, the unseen work can be thankless. You won't always be motivated. There will be days you want to quit. There will be weeks you feel invisible. That's normal. That's part of the grind. That's the test. What do you do when there's no recognition, when there's no evidence yet that it's working? That's where champions are made. When you keep going anyway. That's what builds something that lasts. You have to bet on yourself when no one else is betting. You have to train like it's game day, even when no one's in the stands. You have to speak life into your own vision when the silence feels loud. That's where you build the version of you that doesn't just dream, but executes, who doesn't just hope, but creates, who doesn't just wait for permission, but gives it to herself. This is a long game, and the unseen work is the game. The visible wins are just the score at the end, but the hours, the intention, the quiet discipline, that's the strategy. That's where you make the real moves, so show up, not for attention, not for approval. Show up because your future self is counting on you to do what's hard today, so she can live with ease tomorrow. Every rep, every hour, every decision is a brick in the foundation you're building. It may not go viral, but it will make you unshakable. Remember, the work you do in the dark is what prepares you for the light, so honor it, stay loyal to it, and one day you won't have to explain your results. They'll speak so loudly, no one will be able to ignore the power of what you built when no one was watching. Don't be afraid to start ugly, start messy, start unsure. Start when you don't have it all figured out, because the perfect moment doesn't exist, and the polished version you're waiting for is only built through the chaos of beginning. So many dreams die before they're even born because we're too obsessed with looking good instead of actually growing. But here's the truth: greatness doesn't begin with perfection, it begins with courage. And courage is messy. Every master was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once stumbled. Every best-selling author once stared at a blank page. Every visionary entrepreneur once launched something clunky, broken, incomplete. What separates those who win from those who wish is their willingness to start before they're ready, to look foolish for a while, to embrace being a beginner instead of pretending to have it all together. We live in a culture that glorifies the polished version of success, the edited, filtered Instagram, ready final product, but no one sees the failed drafts, the late nights, the second guessing, the fear. And because we don't see that, we assume we're not good enough if our first try is rough. But that's the lie. Your first try is asterisk supposed asterisk to be rough. That's where the gold is. That's where you learn, adapt, evolve. That's where you build resilience. The fear of starting ugly is really the fear of being seen as imperfect. But perfection isn't power asterisk, progress asterisk is. Starting ugly gives you momentum. It shifts you from overthinking to doing, from paralysis to movement, from fear to growth. When you let go of the need to look like you've got it all under control, you make room for actual progress to unfold. You see, the ego will tell you to wait, to hide, to postpone until everything is perfect. But your soul knows that asterisk action asterisk is the cure, that waiting is a trap dressed up as preparation. And yes, preparation matters, but only to a point. Beyond that, it becomes procrastination wearing a fancy name. So what if your voice shakes when you speak? So what if your first video is awkward? So what if your idea is half-baked, your product is clunky, your art is raw? That's what makes it asterisk real asterisk. That's what makes it human, and people don't connect with perfect. They connect with truth. They connect with authenticity, and there's nothing more authentic than someone brave enough to start where they are with what they have. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall, wobble, crash into furniture, but no one tells them, "You're not good at this, you should stop." No, we cheer them on because we asterisk expect asterisk the mess. We know it's part of the process. But as adults, we lose that grace with ourselves. We think we should be experts from day one, and that thinking is what keeps us stuck. You have to give yourself permission to look ridiculous, to not be perfect, to not be liked by everyone. Starting ugly means dropping the illusion that you need to be impressive before you're even consistent. It means embracing your humanity and knowing that every masterpiece starts with a messy sketch. The truth is, your willingness to start ugly is what will separate you from the crowd. Most people are waiting. They're sitting on their ideas, dreams, and potential, telling themselves they're not ready yet. But ready is a decision, not a destination. You get ready asterisk by doing asterisk, by stepping into the unknown and figuring it out as you go. You don't need the perfect camera to tell your story. You don't need the best equipment to start your podcast. You don't need a flawless website to launch your business. What you need is hunger. What you need is the audacity to begin without a blueprint, to trust that your growth will meet you on the way, not before. Starting ugly builds character. It teaches you humility. It deepens your gratitude for the process. It shows you that progress is possible even when perfection is not. And one day, when you're thriving and someone new says, "I wish I could be like you," you'll smile and say, "You can, but you have to be willing to start ugly, just like I did." Remember, the first draft of anything isn't meant to win awards. It's meant to asterisk exist asterisk. You can't edit a blank page. You can't fix what hasn't been created. So create, build, post, publish, record, launch. Begin even if your voice trembles, even if your hands shake, even if it's not good yet, because it will get better, but only if you begin. This isn't about lowering your standards, it's about trusting the process, about honoring the fact that every expert was once an amateur, about knowing that being seen trying is braver than being perfect in hiding. So stop waiting for permission, stop hiding behind perfection. Start ugly, start scared, start unsure, just start, because the version of you that's 10 years ahead, the one with the success, the peace, the clarity, they're waiting, but they can't show up until you do. Don't be afraid to start ugly. That's the real secret to progress. Everyone wants to be great, but very few are willing to look awkward, unpolished, or even ridiculous at the beginning. We've created a world where perfection is expected, where filtered images, curated content, and highlight reels dominate our screens. But life doesn't start at perfect. It starts in the messy, the uncertain, the uncomfortable. And if you wait until it's beautiful to begin, you'll wait forever. The fear of starting ugly is deeply rooted in our desire to be accepted, to be admired, to be applauded. But when you prioritize appearances over action, you sabotage your own growth. You delay your journey because you're worried about how it looks rather than where it's leading. And here's the truth. Everyone you admire today started somewhere rough, that author whose book changed your life. Their first draft was probably terrible. That speaker who moves millions, they once stuttered through sentences. That entrepreneur who built a thriving company, they started with an idea scribbled on a napkin. Ugly beginnings are not something to be ashamed of. They are sacred. They are necessary. You will never be fully ready. No one is. You may think you need more money, more confidence, more knowledge, more connections. But what you really need is courage, the courage to show up as you are, to take the first step even if it's shaky, to start building before you have all the tools. That courage is what separates the people who dream from the people who do. People who are too afraid to look imperfect will always stay stuck, but the ones who dare to be seen in their raw, unfinished, unfiltered state, they're the ones who grow into something remarkable. Starting ugly isn't about settling for less, it's about respecting the process. You can't skip your way to mastery, you can't cheat growth. There is no shortcut to confidence. It is earned in the doing, in the showing up, in the messy repetitions. You don't become great by avoiding failure. You become great by walking through it, learning from it, and rising because of it. Think about how children learn. When a child takes their first steps, they fall repeatedly, but they keep going. They don't question their worth or compare themselves to others. They just try again. They celebrate every small milestone. They don't need to be perfect to be proud. That's the mindset we lose as adults. Somewhere along the line, we start to believe that failure is embarrassing, that imperfection is weakness. But in reality, it's where all the power lies, in the stumble, in the awkward phase, in the beginning when no one's clapping yet. But you keep going anyway. Let yourself be a beginner. Give yourself the grace to be new. Every expert was once insecure. Every strong voice was once silent. Every bold leader was once afraid to take the first step. Stop disqualifying yourself because you're not polished. That version of you, the confident, accomplished one you picture in your mind, only exists because you're willing to start as you are. Stop trying to make your first version look like someone else's 10th. You are not supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to stumble, laugh at yourself, and keep showing up. That's how momentum is built, not by being perfect, but by being consistent. And let's be honest, starting ugly is humbling. It teaches you patience. It builds character. It keeps your ego in check. When you start from the bottom, when you do the work without expecting praise, you build something real. Something grounded, something that can't be taken from you because it wasn't given to you. You earned it. When you finally reach a level of success, people will say, you made it overnight. They won't see the nights you cried in silence, the times you doubted yourself, the version of you that kept showing up even when it wasn't pretty. And that's okay. They're not supposed to see it, but you'll know. And that knowledge will be your foundation, that ugly start. It'll be the most honest, powerful, liberating thing you ever gave yourself. This is your permission to look foolish, to launch with typos, to speak while your voice shakes, to show up before you feel qualified. No one has it all together at the beginning, not even the ones who pretend they do. You don't have to impress anyone, you just have to begin. Your future self is waiting on the other side of your fear. She's not judging you for starting ugly. She's cheering you on, because she knows that the ugly beginning is what makes the glow up so powerful. So iconic, so real. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and let the mess be part of the magic. Because the truth is, when you stop being afraid to start ugly, you start becoming unstoppable. Think legacy, not likes. In a world consumed by temporary applause and fleeting validation, this mindset is your anchor. Every scroll, every click, every post today seems to scream, "Look at me." But when you pause, really pause, you have to ask yourself what will still matter 10 years from now. Who will remember that post, that trend, that viral moment? Very few will. But what you build, how you love, who you become, and the impact you leave behind, that's your legacy. We've been conditioned to measure our worth in numbers. Followers, views, shares, comments, but none of those can hold the weight of true meaning. None of those define who you are at your core. Likes are short-term, legacy is forever. You can't take likes with you, but you'll leave your legacy whether you intend to or not. So why not make it intentional? When you chase likes, you mold yourself for approval. You compromise, you perform. You start seeking applause from the crowd rather than alignment with your truth. You become addicted to quick hits of validation while your soul starves for depth. And the worst part, the applause never lasts. The crowd moves on, the trend fades, and you're left wondering, was it ever real? Legacy doesn't ask you to perform, it asks you to be honest. It asks you to play the long game. It asks you to focus on substance over style impact over image meaning over metrics . It's not about how many people know your name. It's about what your name represents what people feel when they hear it. What lives are better because you showed up. Thinking in terms of legacy shifts everything. It shifts how you speak, how you create, how you lead. It pushes you to ask, is this aligned with who I want to be remembered as? Not just, will this get attention, but will this still feel right when the noise is gone? That question is powerful. That question keeps you grounded in purpose, and don't get it twisted. Legacy isn't about being famous or becoming a household name. Legacy can be quiet. It can be felt in the hearts of your children, the people you helped, the lives you inspired. It can exist in the energy you brought into every room, the kindness you extended when no one was watching, the values you lived by when it would have been easier not to. You build legacy in the little things. In the way you treat people when there's nothing to gain. In the discipline you maintain when no one is checking. In the stories you tell, the wisdom you share, and the truth you refuse to compromise on. It's not always glamorous. It won't always be trending, but it will be real and real doesn't need to shout, it echoes. Thinking legacy over likes also gives you freedom. You stop chasing trends that don't reflect you. You stop bending to every wave of public opinion. You create, speak, and live from a deeper place. A place that knows your worth isn't up for vote. A place that doesn't need external applause to keep going. A place that trusts the quiet power of planting seeds you may never see bloom. Because legacy doesn't always show up in your lifetime. Sometimes it's the ripple effect. The book you write that changes someone years later. The advice you gave that someone repeats to their children. The courage you modeled that helps someone else be brave. You won't always know the full reach of your impact, but that doesn't mean it's not real. There's something deeply noble about living for something bigger than yourself, about understanding that the real measure of your life isn't what you accumulated, but what you gave, not how much attention you got, but how much light you spread. Legacy asks you to rise above ego. It asks you to lead with integrity, not image, and it demands that you think far beyond the moment. And yes, there's nothing wrong with recognition or growing your platform, but make sure that platform is built on purpose. Make sure what you're building is rooted in truth, because when the algorithm shifts, when the applause dies down, when the trends change asterisk, what remains asterisk, that's your legacy, so build something timeless. Live in a way that your future self would be proud of. Create with your heart, speak with your soul, show up with your full truth. Let people feel something real when they cross your path. Let your name stand for values that outlast noise. And know this, the likes might come and go, but legacy lives on.